Hi, my name is Yavor and I'm a product manager on the Snowpark Container Services team. Today I'm excited to walk you through some new capabilities we're adding in Snowsight to make it easier and more fun to manage your services, jobs, and compute pools. Let's dive in. Let's start with compute pools, which give you the ability to manage the compute infrastructure that sits underneath your SPCS services and jobs. You can find compute pools in the updated Snowsight navigation under Manage and then Compute pools. I've pre-filtered the view already to my compute pools here, and I can dive into one. I can see some of the metadata, the instance type I'm using, the number of minimum and maximum nodes, and I can actually suspend the compute pool, or I can even alter the compute pool, for example, increasing the number of nodes here, or tweak any other advanced options. I can also, of course, drop the compute pool or transfer its ownership, and I can also grant the privileges to work with the compute pool to other users via this dialog here. So compute pools is something that's compelling for admins, but most of our users will be working with services and jobs directly, and you can find those under the monitoring tab. So let's hop over to the services and jobs view, and let's pre-filter here. I'm going to find the services that I have in my compute pool that we just saw. I have a Cortex Analyst service running here, so let's select that. And here I can see obviously a summary of all the containers and instances running inside the service. I have a single container, and you can see its status, its restart count, if it had a healthy or unhealthy exit code, and any messages coming from the container. Another thing that is super useful here is I can actually see all the endpoints that the container exposes. So in this case, I actually do expose an endpoint with some UI for this application. This is actually a chatbot built using Gradio, so I can go ahead and play with it. There we go. And the cool thing here is that as I'm using the application, I can just jump to the logs for the container and get real-time logs to see what's going on and troubleshoot if there's an error in my application. So in this case, I'll scroll all the way to the bottom here, and you can see some debugging information coming from my container. So this is super useful if you're in development or even in production to basically figure out what the application is doing. We also have the specification, and we also have the metrics, but for that let me switch to the jobs tab because I have a job that showcases the metrics in a really compelling way. So I just ran this job, and this is actually using a GPU compute pool with a very powerful GPU. So let's click into that. Again, similar to the service itself, I can see the metadata here, the containers that ran, I can see the logs. But what's super cool is I can jump into the metrics. So this runs a large model on 4 GPUs. And so I'm looking at the last 5 minutes. You can see my execution just completed. You can see the load on each of the GPUs that I used. You can see the memory consumed by each GPU. You can see the system memory. And this is super cool as I'm tuning the workload to make sure that I'm on the right instance type, and then I'm fully utilizing all the hardware I'm paying for. So that's the services and jobs view. And last but not least, I wanted to showcase the ability to list the image repositories. So that one you'll find in a catalog in the Database Explorer. So here's a database, and you can find it under a specific schema. You'll see the list of image repositories. Here's my repository, and then here's all the images I've pushed to that repository, down with the tag and SHA and all that stuff. And what's really nifty here is I can actually copy the URL, and this before was pretty hard to do, but I can copy this URL and I can paste it right inside my specification, my service spec. So that's pretty nifty. All right, that's everything we have. So enjoy playing with the services and jobs view in Snowsight. Thank you.